All right, back here. Final match of the evening here. Week 3 feature matches for Duskmourn. And we got Steve T up against Preston B. And we'll be watching Preston here, who unfortunately looks like they'll be taking a mulligan. What's going on over in Steve's hand?
He's taking a mulligan as well. Looks
Okay.
like he's got Sultai.
Okay. Yeah, so,
He's
yeah, so Steve is on 70 cards, I saw, which is quite a lot. Preston's on 62. Looks like he's been going the MKM route. So he looks like we're going to be possibly seeing a few MKM cards from him based on what I saw in his hand that he had to mulligan and this hand as well. Um, yeah, so he has Overgrown Zealot, which is the Mana Dork from this set. He has They Went This Way, which I believe gets you a land and a clue. And he has the Unholy Annex, which is that demon room, and a bunch of lands. So
Steve's got a Forest, a Comeback Wrong, and an Unable to Scream.
So this is going to be actually pretty tough for Preston because he can ramp this turn, play the demon next turn, and then the demon gets killed, and then he's just going to be taking so much damage. Yeah, so they went this way. I don't remember that card being cast that much in MKM. I think there was just better ways to fix, but I mean, it was. I mean, it was a card you could definitely play. So I did see as he's going through his deck, I do see a an island and a plains as well as green and black lands. So probably splashing something or other. But he went to go get a swamp.
Yeah, Steve's just gonna be putting on the pressure
Yeah,
here.
more lands
Two,
drawn here. I mean, basically, he's going to play the demon. The demon's going to die. He's going to go to 8.
yeah,
And he's going to have just lands and an O4 in hand. So, I mean, it could be worse. Like, Steve could have played, like, a couple more creatures to have him be, like, really dead. But as it stands, probably just going to kill this demon. I can't see. I
looks
mean,
like he's going for the Unable to Scream instead of the Comeback
okay. I
Wrong.
guess he wants, like, the value from the comeback wrong, like maybe like an ETB or something.
He also did draw an Omnivorous Flytrap, which he's gonna be dropping here.
So the thing about this, and I actually this interaction actually came up a few days ago in a match I was either watching or part of. It's still a demon, so you can unlock the Unholy Annex, and it's still a demon. So the Unable to Scream makes it a
Interesting.
toy in addition. So actually still has the demon. So I don't know if Steve knew
Wow.
that or if he maybe he thought it would take it away, but he gets his trigger. Because sometimes these blue auras like remove all their other creature types, just make them something instead. But this one does not.
He
But
hovered over the oops for a second, so it seems like he didn't realize,
okay.
which I didn't either. But he has a really great top deck here. He's drawn the
Oh boy,
Overlord.
yeah. And we got 4 lands in hand here, so it might be a rough go. But yeah, I literally just found that out a few days ago, like when it came up in a match. I think it was during the open, like somebody was streaming. All right, he says I should have done this the first time, but I'll do it now. He cuts his losses. I mean, unfortunately, had to play a removal spell that didn't really remove, part of its ability. Yeah, so
Is the Black
just
Overlord trigger optional? Because I'm wondering if he could have declined to return something, kept Delirium, and then attacked with the Flytrap. But
I don't believe so. I believe you must return something. Or I mean, you have to mill for sure, and then I think you have to return something. But I mean, this is still looking
it says you may.
pretty good. Okay,
Yeah, this is still good for Steve here, obviously.
so it looks like not attacking with the Overlord. Okay, interesting. Do we know why he doesn't want to attack with that? Just doesn't want to trade it off for the beast, I guess.
I'm not sure. Oh, he does have the fear of falling, so maybe he's hoping to cast that second main with
Oh,
the tapping both creatures for mana. But yeah, if he blocks like this, then he still won't be able to
okay.
cast it.
Okay,
So
so he is playing like some heavy blue cards. Oh, I mean, okay, I see a doppelgang here, but unfortunately, it's going to be going under the manifest here. But that is
there's
quite the card.
yeah, on this board there's there's a lot of things to spicy things to copy.
Yeah, it's like make X copies of X creatures. Yeah, I mean,
Permanence, I believe.
oh yeah. Usually casting it for two was like incredible. Casting it for three was game winning. I think
Yeah.
I don't remember how much mana everything cost, but I know it was always worth it. But looks like you're just gonna have to have a bunch of like bad blocks here. Yeah, just interesting you didn't attack with the Overlord last turn. I mean, Preston would be in such a worse situation. Yeah, he says I don't need to see anymore. All my blocks are terrible, and I lose my whole
Yeah,
board.
not worth it.
Yeah, so yeah, so green black deck here for Preston with a Rite of the Moth and Doppelgang as his splashy effects.
Yeah, Steve's got a Zimone,
Hmm.
which I saw, and yeah, most of the other rares I think we've seen already. Come back wrong, the Flytrap, Vitality, and the Black Overlord.
He did draw more rares than his opponent. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
It helps. It helps.
So he's got black as more of a splash, although obviously the double black in the form of the Overlord. He's got two Brood Spinners. Pretty much everything
Mm,
else is Simic.
right. Yeah, not sure what he saw to make him want to bring in a Given to Violence, which is that lifelink trick in black, but he has dragged it into his deck from the sideboard.
Don't believe Steve made any changes.
He brought it in and he took it right out, and no actual changes were made. But he thought about giving into violence and then decided to be a pacifist. Oh. So I don't know if it's going to be great, but in Preston's hand is sort of a card that I tried to draft around all the time in MKM, which was the chalk outline. So
Ooh,
other than that, he has a Withering Torment and lands. So he has a two, a three, and then he has a four that doesn't do anything yet. What's Steve working with over there?
he's gonna also play a Weary Watchdog, and he's got two Manifest Dreads in hand and an Under the Skin
All right,
and
so
three
lots of
forests.
manifesting.
Yep.
Yeah, so chalk outline was like whenever one or more creatures or cards leave your graveyard, you get a 2/2 and a clue, I think. Something like
Yeah, I
that.
think so.
That card and Insidious Roots like derailed so many drafts of mine back in MKM. It
Yeah.
was like a build around that just wasn't really good or supported. Like one out of every five times you got a killer version. The other times like just lost
Yeah.
every game.
I feel like having the Simic signpost, the 2/2 that gave you clues whenever you investigated, was kind of imperative to have that deck be somewhat functional.
Yeah, there was also this Demir zombie that like you could bring it back to your graveyard whenever you cracked a clue or whatever. Yeah, whenever you sacked a clue, it came back or something like that. There was some fun stuff you could do. Anyway,
Mm.
um,
Okay, he kept a Glimmer Burst on top with the Watchdog Surveil, so he's got that in hand now.
pretty good. Yeah, I mean, he could just drop the chalk outline. It doesn't do much, but Whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know how many ways he has to have stuff leave the graveyard. I did see at least like I think he has one or two collect evidence cards, but it's not that much from Duskmourn. We have ways to put
Yeah,
stuff into the graveyard, but not as much out of the graveyard.
yeah. There's the Demir uncommon.
Ooh, now we're talking the Fear of Infinity, and yeah, this is like the nightmare for Preston. It's just like attacks his 3/1 into a Glimmer Burst. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate there.
So Preston sees a Branch Snapper on top, which normally when you got 4 lands and playing 2 lands in hand, you're happy, but all the lands in his hand are swamps. So unfortunately, has to just get rid of it. Sadly, I do wanna compliment Preston on his Tarkir basic lands. So just shout out to that. I know a man with good taste when I see one. No. Steve's lands are okay though. So what are his options here for the next couple turns? Do we think?
He drew a Bashful Beastie,
No.
so it looks like he's just gonna run that out. He's still got another Manifest Dread, Under the Skin, and then
Oh,
a Flesh Borer and
of,
a Horrid
of
Vigor.
course. Now he draws the forest when he doesn't want it. Yeah, it's just like those games where just like every decision is like it was probably fine, but like never, but just works out terribly. It's like putting the
Yeah,
branch snapper wasn't wrong, putting in the graveyard, but like drawing the forest, you just feel so bad after. Okay, I assume Preston's gonna take the trade with the 5/4. Yeah,
he has a Horrid Vigor in hand, so he can choose to save it, but
yeah. I think
he's
Preston is
gonna.
gonna be using his removal here pretty happily on that, and I mean, we got a clear board here, but Steve obviously has the advantage on cards, and he gets a 2/2 left over. Oh, all right. Well, we got something to do with the chalk outline now. We got a defiled crypt in hand,
Ah,
so now we can get all sorts of 2/2s. We can get enchantment 2/2s. We can get detectives. We can get back our probably branch snapper. Yeah, so you could play the defiled crypt, activate it, get a 2/2, get another 2/2, get a clue. Okay, I'm
that's
uh,
pretty solid.
I'm becoming a believer. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Look, I'm seeing chalk outline triggered in a game of Duskmourn League. I'm satisfied.
Oh yeah,
Question is, can he trigger it again? Because 4 mana for just a 2/2 and a clue is not great. All right, so he's drawn an island here, which if he does draw a doppelgang, he'll be able to do something with that. Otherwise,
yeah.
I don't believe he has other blue cards.
Steve will likely just be dropping 3 spells here.
I mean, that can't be that bad. Yeah, like it was looking like Steve at least like had more cards in hand than his opponent, but Preston had a good turn there. And now if he wants to block, and imagine he might want to block. No,
This
okay.
Yeah, that's not a creature, so just a 2/2, but doesn't mean you can't threaten it.
Yeah, this brood spinner is. I just the first few times I played it, I just assumed that the ability was as a sorcery, and somehow it isn't.
Yeah,
Like I was playing the Open this week and I had a brood spinner in one of my decks, and I was on stream and people were like, "Why are you cracking at main phase?" I was like, "Well, because that's what it does." They're like, "No, you can do it at instant speed." Okay.
that is a significant upgrade.
Oh,
So he
for sure,
surveilled
100%.
a found footage and a Hauntwood Shrieker to the top of his deck.
I mean, I feel like you can just put the footage in the graveyard, but I
Yeah,
guess.
he was debating. Um, Decided to leave it on top.
Yeah, the Shrieker is pretty good. He doesn't happen to have any creatures under his face down, does he?
Not currently.
Oh yeah.
I mean, unless he wanted to under the skin and manifest his Shrieker and pop it up later.
Seems unlikely, but you never know. All right, so he's just gonna play the footage here. Oh, well, there's a doppelgang.
That's a little scary.
So if he does X equals 2, copies 2 things twice, we get like 2 7/6s and like 2 brood spinners, I guess, would be the things to do here. I mean, yeah, so it's XXX green blue. So if you want X equals 2, you're looking at 8 mana, 11 mana for 30.
His permanence as well. He could copy his room here, I guess.
Yeah, that's a little too cute. Also, if you copy a room, both sides are locked when it comes in.
That is true. You'd have to pay for
So it would be,
before getting the extra tutus.
yeah, I mean, it would be funny, but I don't know if it'd be good.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather just make 2 7/6s and 2 brood spinners and carry that to hopefully a victory. I think his thoughts may be aligning with mine. Yeah.
Just think he could have 3 chalk outlines and three three rooms though.
Yeah, you could super spin your wheels and do absolutely nothing. Perfect. I mean, it was pretty good. And he could just attack with the original 7/6 now too. I think. Okay, yeah, he's dumping the planes here. It's his only planes, but he only has 1 white card. Oh, so he's got another fun card from NCAM here, which he's deciding what he wants to do with Surveil, which is Deadly Cover Up, which is the board wipe card, black board wipe.
uh,
And he's got a Cryptid Inspector as well that he's deciding whether he wants these. I mean, he's ahead, so doesn't need a board wipe, but it can't be that bad to have in case things go wrong. Yeah, okay. Decides to keep both. I don't know about the keeping the 2/3 card. Seems kind of low impact right now, but yeah. And as I suspected, he's attacking with the first 7/6, offering the trade with the Death Touch, and then all further attacks with the other 7/6s would be pretty tough for Steve to block up.
Steve is deciding if he wants to use his Horrid Vigor here. Maybe block with one of the face down.
I mean, you still take the trample damage, which is unfortunate. Like if he's trying to minimize damage, like opponent has 2 more 7/6s, like keeping your thing alive and killing theirs with the Horde Vigor and taking like 5 is like it's better than not doing that, but it doesn't solve the issues here.
Yeah, he's got a Rickerfolk Thresher and Hauntwood Shrieker, which he's deciding if he wants to keep on top.
I mean, he kept the Hauntwoods before, but I think I think we may be, the doppelgang changes things, right? Like you
Yeah,
now need answers
uh,
really fast. I don't think threats are going to be good enough here. Okay,
he does keep both
he
on
did
top.
keep them. Okay, I assume there is going to be the Horde Vigor here. No, okay. I don't know when you're going to find a better time to use it, considering how low his life is getting. But he is a league winner, so he knows what he's doing, and he knows his deck. So he's figuring out the steps he needs to take to get on the winning path here, despite the resolved doppelgang.
Can bring the Death Toucher back here with under the skin.
Okay, so you can do that, and then you can do Horde Vigor, I guess, or not.
Yeah.
See, yeah, Horde Vigor is a card I found myself running like a little bit more than at the beginning. Like it not giving a power toughness boost takes a lot away from it, but it's like you always win combat no matter what with that. Like like
Yeah.
your thing lives, their thing dies always, and it wrecks like double and triple blocks like no other card could.
Yeah.
But yeah, not giving you a power toughness boost is a little rough. Right, so I mean, Preston's drawn his board wipe here that he kept on top. I don't think he'd be wanting to cast it. Certainly, he has the advantage here. Also, the deadly cover up will trigger his enchantments, I believe, because when he collects evidence.
Right, but the everything other than the clue, I would just die immediately, I guess, because it's a
Suppose that
casting
would be. I
cost.
suppose so. Yeah. All right. Well, informing. He's informing his opponent that his opponent needs to block,
Yeah.
and Steve obliges him, and looks like everything's gonna die except for maybe the no. Everything's gonna die. Okay. Really holding on to that horrid vigor there. But now, I guess we can make flyers, but then the opponent can just make the flyers back. Yeah. I mean, much like me, I believe he must assume that it's only sorcery speed because
Yeah.
it's just like I'm so used to like any effect this strong being a sorcery because it's really strong effect.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
any like sack a creature to do something strong, put a bunch of bodies into play. Gotta be a sorcery, right?
He's drawn and unable to scream, which looks like he's gonna drop on the other brood spinner,
Yeah, I mean, might as well before. I
and
think
he
he
can.
basically just has to sack his like
Yeah.
then he
Pretty.
dies
Pretty
anyway.
much.
But if he does that, no, he doesn't die. But
Yeah. He goes to 1 here, I guess.
is he trying to bluff something? Because I don't know what card in green and black can be enough here. I'm trying to think. Even like in the sets that are being opened in this league, is there an instant speed card that can actually stop all of this? Like -1/-1
I
to
mean,
opponent's
I don't.
creatures
I
or
don't think
something.
so. But his other option was play a creature and die to the flyers.
Well, he could have made 6/1/1s and like basically took 2 damage. Oh, which he's doing anyway. Of course, he's doing it because it's an instant speed.
Instant speed.
Look at me, like I'm never learning. It's like, what can he be doing that's better than my opponents? It's instant speed. I'm saying it repeatedly and still falling victim to this card. This card will fool me for the entirety of the format. Every time my opponent passes, I'm going to be like, what could they have that's better than making 1/1s? And the answer is, they're just making 1/1s. All right, so
Yeah.
Doppelgang really turned the game in Preston's favor here, which he found off the top in a crucial moment in the middle of the game where it really could have gone either way, but that pulled him firmly ahead and was able to get the win here for this game. And no changes, and we get a game 3, I think, for the first time tonight. So, oh no, we got one. No, we got one in the second round, second match.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. No. Doppelgang is a huge card when you. Seems like they're both playing pretty grindy decks.
Yeah, I haven't been watching too many league matches, and I'm not playing in the league, so I don't have a good gauge of what the most popular sets are. But I feel like I've seen MKM not very much. But tonight we're seeing a little bit more. We're seeing a couple players in Emmett earlier, and now Preston who have opened a bit more MKM and have some decently good stuff to show for it. Obviously, like I see a lot of Duskmourn and I see a lot of Theros, and I see not that much of the other sets.
Yeah. No. It is. Probably the second. highest power level set.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
seen very little of any of the Innistrad sets, um, Shadows Remastered or the two more recent ones. So we got a mulligan here from Preston, but I think this one's gonna be a keeper. What's Steve looking at?
he's got 3 lands: Flesh Burrower,
Hmm.
Oblivious Bookworm, Bashful Beastie, and Moldering Gym.
He's got Oblivious Bookworm. That's a great one.
Yeah,
So
especially with
Preston's deciding
yeah,
what to put back here. He's got a swamp, a plains, a black 2-drop, and 3 green cards. But one of those green cards is the Forest Cycler, so he'll be able to cast his green spells. He has a Chalk Outline and a Overgrown Zealot, and I think. Okay, so he's putting the Chalk Outline on the bottom. It was between the Chalk Outline and the Rise, the Right of the Moth, the Orzhov card. But he decided to go with keeping the Right of the Moth and putting the Chalk Outline on the bottom. Sadness in my heart, but correct move. And so force off the top here means he can play his Mana Dork now rather than having to. Well, okay, he's just gone for the 3-1. He's not really ramping into anything, so yeah. Like that's like another like whole I fight in my game. It's like if my Mana Dork's in my opening hand, play it on 2 no matter what. But then like sometimes I'm
yeah,
streaming and people are like, "Why'd you play the Mana Dork?" I was like, "Well, I always play my Mana Dork on turn 2 if it's in my hand." But they're like, "You're not ramping a 4. You just had a better aggressive 2-drop you could have played." And I'm like, "Oh."
yeah. I feel like I tend to do that as well.
It's just like,
Kind
why?
of,
What good is it? Like, what good is it for if I'm not playing it on turn 2, right? But it's like sometimes it's like, no, it's just you don't have a 4-drop in your hand, so who cares? Just play your 2-mana 3-1 and don't get attacked by a Flesh Burrower. And that's exactly what happened. He played his 2-mana 3-1 and did not get attacked by a Flesh Burrower. Look at that.
Steve gonna be doing some ramping here. It looks like.
Interesting. He didn't play out his Bookworm. Usually, I like to get that out early. Um,
Yeah, he went for the burrower instead of
Even if it eats
the
removal,
bookworm.
it's like I still loot it. Like you still get that little loot. So like
Right.
even if they
Yeah.
kill it, you still got something out of it. It's not like a full card's worth, but you still got a little something. So it feels good running it on turn 2, even if they do have the removal, because you get your little bit of value. So Fear of Lost Teeth here, not looking too great. And I mean, once he next turn he can put this 7/6 into play with the Right of the Moth. So looks like he had a plan here, keeping the Right of the Moth and the Branch Snapper. And the plan is to reanimate it.
Notably, this face down card is a Hauntwood Shrieker.
Okay, well, unfortunately, it
But
can't it can't turn itself up for 2. You still have to pay the 3, but it can turn everything
yeah,
else up
and
for 2 if you wanted to.
not sure if he wants to trade that with the loner. It's either that or he has a Bashful Beastie, or he could play a land and activate the weight room. But
I mean,
looks like he's gonna flip it up.
oh, okay. Maybe he's just gonna get his value and move on. He's just gonna say like, I'll trade you for the value.
Yep.
I mean, I think Preston's okay with making these trades here.
He hit a Zimone off of the manifest here.
Okay, I mean that's not bad either. It's a bit awkward this for the next couple turns, but maybe on turn 7 you can make it work. Yeah, I mean, I think Preston's happy doing this. Like the Huntwood
And
Shrieker left behind a manifest, but did trade for a vastly worse card.
yeah, gonna play the Bookworm here and draw a card, I assume.
There we go. There he is. He was being shy at the bookworm. Yeah, he was in his studies. I think we're reanimating here. I mean, I don't see what else he could do that's better than putting a 7/6 into play. He has Fear of Lost Teeth and Grasping Longneck and a board wipe in hand. I mean, there is a world where he's afraid of the bookworm enough to drop a board wipe, but that can't be ideal. I think a 7/6 has just got to be good. Take his time here. Again, he's highlighted basically almost every card in his hand, just considering the options. Like, I don't think board. It's definitely not. It can't be board wipe because opponent has a 5/5 coming down the pipe. So you're not going to just board wipe and let them make a 5/5.
Right. Plus I don't know if he has lands in hand, but the Zealot lets him recast the right as well.
Yeah. So he did
Or
come to the
gives him
conclusion
double
that
to.
I assumed he would, which is to put the 7/6 back into play and save his other cards.
I, yeah, I have to imagine he's going to be flipping up Simone here to make a 7/7.
Yeah. It's either that or make a 5/5 and draw a card, I guess. But he still gets to draw a card from flipping the card face up. So
Right. He has a Overgrown Zealot, or say its name in hand that he can play as well.
yeah, I'm still like flabbergasted that they put the words prime numbers
Yeah,
on a Magic the Gathering card that is not from a joke set, and then they have reminder text up to what, like 31, I think.
right. Seems a little strange.
Very bizarre. And like when I read this card, I really didn't. I could not gauge whether this card was good because it's so bizarre. And the first time that I played with it, which was like the first pre-release I did, I was like, oh, I guess I'll try it. And then like somebody sitting next to me was like, I think it's pretty good. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's good. Just like such a weirdly designed words set of words on it. But yeah, make a 7/7 seems good.
He drew the Omnivorous Flytrap as well.
That's
He
pretty good
does
too.
currently have Delirium.
I mean, Preston like keeps hovering over his board wipe, but also sees a 5/5 like on board. So, but the 7/7 is a problem. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, there's a crossroads here. You could play like a some dorky low drop creatures, or he could board wipe, and I think he's gonna go for the board wipe. He does not collect evidence. He does not wish to exile his Rite of the Moth from graveyard.
Mhm.
But I feel like based on the amount of mana that each player has, with even cards in hand, Steve just has to be a bit ahead.
Yeah, he can go for the Beastie into the Flytrap here, and
Okay, yeah.
that's a lot of power.
Could yeah, might have wanted to wait a turn. Like he's at 21, so he's not like under siege from what was going on the other side. So I feel like this is a situation where it could have waited one more turn. I mean, easy to say that in retrospect, but you know, nothing on the board was like demanding an answer. But now there
Right.
is something that is, unfortunately for him. And there's still a looming 5/5 over there. So with four lands, his options are very strained. Um, could play They Went This Way, and then a Fear of Lost Teeth. And I think he's just going to do that to try and be able to cast more spells in the coming turns. Maybe draw removal, but yeah, doing this at this point in the game is just not where you want to be.
Uh, doesn't feel great.
And the Fly Trap can end this pretty quick, honestly. Yep, so he's just piling the counters on this Fly Trap. He's going to take just 5. So, his life total still has a bit to play with, but the Fly Trap can change that quickly. What else does he have in hand here? Oh, say its name, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that and the Horde Vigor as well to protect one of
Oh,
his
yeah. Okay.
creatures still.
All right. Yeah, having the Horde Vigor, that's going to be very, very difficult now.
Yeah, not looking great.
And an appendage amalgam off the top is not what we're looking for. That's the 3/2 flash black common creature.
Right.
Yeah, so here comes a watchdog. I mean, he's just like chump blocking here, essentially. Yeah, he sees the land now on top, but can't keep it because he needs answers. Yeah, just a very like a bit of an awkward game for Preston, or just not being able to deploy everything in the way that he wanted to, and that board wipe just coming a turn before opponent plays Beastie and the fly trap.
Yeah. Steve also drew. Oh my god. So
Mm.
for turn he drew an Altenac, and he's gonna manifest the Black Overlord here. So he's got
Yeah, that'll
infinite.
do it. That will do it. I mean, Preston needs a board wipe, but he used it, so don't know
Right.
what all he can produce here. He can throw this 3/2 into play to block something, but yeah, these cards are not really matching up evenly. Guess he says kill the Shrieker, and he can flip up that Overlord right now for 2.
Yep. For two.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, when it's going well, it's going well. Yeah, surveil a land. He cannot even cast the Right of the Moth if he wanted to get back something. And unless he has a second board wipe hidden somewhere in his pile, we're going to be getting to the end here. I mean, Right of the Moth
Yeah.
is now castable, but there's no card he can bring back that can stop, several lethal creatures. So it looks as if we are getting a win here from Steve, who can go battle the demon and see if somebody could take down the demon this week. He's been getting away with too much. Just an impressive showing here with these rares and mythics that showed up.
Yeah.
Once again, playing rares is great. Right? He had the Shrieker, Zamone, the Overlord, the Flytrap.
Yeah. He's consistently drawing those. Although he does have, yeah, ways like to say its name and a ton of manifests to try and sift through his deck to get to his
Yeah.
bombs. But
I mean, yeah, bombs and rares aren't everything, but when they show up, they are everything.
yep.
All right, so congratulations to Steve, and we are about to watch him battle the demon.